What's going on, guys? It's Wraith here, back with another video, and I just want to let you guys know I am going to be trying to upload every single day, since a lot of you guys have more time since of quarantine, as well as myself, that I thought I'd be able to help you guys become better Fortnite players and provide content for you. And I'll try and do it every single day, no guarantees, but obviously, like I said, I will try and be uploading every single day from here on out. And recently I was scrolling through my YouTube comments like I do every single day for around an hour, and I got a really good comment for a really good video idea, which is today's video idea, which is top 3 players from each region. So shout out to Tazan or Tazen, however you pronounce the name. I really do appreciate the idea. And yeah, so that's basically what we're going to be talking about today. And this is currently, so if you're watching this video in 6 months, it may not be the same people as it is in 6 months, and this is all my opinion. So if you have a different opinion, or you think someone should have been on this list or shouldn't have been on this list, let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, that's going to be it. Let's get into today's video. If you're looking forward to it, make sure you slap a like button on it, comment what you want to see for a future video, hit that subscribe button, use security code WraithFN in the item shop, and let's get into it. So we're going to start off with my home territory, NA West, and I won't be listing them from 1, 2, 3, I'll just be listing all 3, and those are the top 3, like I said, in my opinion, as of right now. But basically for West, we're going to start off with Rex. Now, a lot of you guys who play West probably know who he is. He is probably one of the best players in the world right now, and unfortunately he doesn't have too much earned in Fortnite. He has over $62,000, which obviously is still a ton, but comparable to a lot of other pros, and that's because he didn't make the World Cup, and back then, in my opinion, he just wasn't as good as he is now. Now he wins and does very well in almost every single event in West. So now my next player is Epic Wale, who a lot of you guys probably do know. He came 3rd in the World Cup and has over $1.3 million earned. And recently, if you guys don't know, he did actually switch to controller from keyboard and mouse, and he's still been popping off consistently, which is super impressive to pick up and learn a new input. Doesn't matter if it's controller, literally in under like 5 months, and actually start doing the best out of any NA West player in the world right now is pretty impressive in my opinion. So he definitely deserves to be on this list, as well as obviously he did come 3rd overall in the World Cup. And then the last player right now, who I've been a huge fan ever since watching World Cup, and it is Arkham. I really do enjoy watching Arkham. He's one of my most favorite players to watch whenever he does actually stream or post YouTube videos. He's one of the most pros besides Benji that I actually do enjoy VOD reviewing, and he has over $500,000 earned, and similar to Epic Wale, he is just an all-around beast and has been popping off ever since World Cup. So next region we're going to be talking about is Middle East, and a lot of you guys may not know the top pros from here, but I will definitely fill you guys in. So the first player I'm going to be talking about, and I might get these pronunciations wrong, so don't blame me, or let me know down in the comments if I do, if you guys know. And the first guy I'm going to be talking about is Soriano. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it, and he is just an absolute beast. Like, for power rankings, he is #1 in Middle East, which doesn't matter if it's in Middle East or wherever. Being #1 in any region is super impressive. He has over like $15,000 earned, which obviously doesn't seem like a lot comparable to other pros, but since their smaller prize pool, as well as they just recently, like in the last couple of months, got the actual regions figured out. Like, I'm pretty sure they had to play on EU before, and they recently, him and his duo, just actually did end up winning the Chapter 2 Season 2 Grand Finals, as well as the Heat 1, like, so they came first, which is obviously super impressive. And then he's obviously done very well in solos as well, winning the cash cups here, there, winning duos, etc. During the Winter Royale in Middle East Day 1, they actually, him and his duo came first as well, which is pretty impressive. So just an overall really good player. And then next, we're going to be talking about his duo partner, who obviously is just as good as him, and it is Unit, who is #2 in power rankings. And obviously, of course, the #1 and 2 have to duo partner. So similar to his kind of, I guess you could say, like, placements, he obviously just finished first as well in the Heat 1, as well as the Grand Finals for duos. And then he obviously, just as well as his duo partner, pop off in the solo cash cups, etc all the time. Like, he has a couple first places here. They came first in the Heat 1 Chapter 2 Season 1 FNCS, so squads, which is again super impressive. So him and his duo, pretty easily one of the two best players in Middle East. I personally don't know how they'd stack up against the NA East pros or EU pros, but I could see them definitely holding up. Then the last player we're going to be talking about is NM7, who is ranked 3rd in the power rankings for Middle East, but does have more money than either of the other two. He has over $25,000 earned, and that's not including the last grand finals, which again is just super impressive coming out of a small region, and this guy is definitely an all-around good player. So now we are going to be talking about one of, if not the best region in the world, EU, which a lot of you guys might have different opinions on, and a lot of you guys might agree or disagree with me, but again, here we go. So starting off with the first player we're going to be talking about, and that is Metro, who has been one of the most consistent players in the world since Fortnite has actually started, with over $700,000 earned. I don't really need to tell you guys about how many first place this man has, like in Season X, for the squads, for fall skirmishes, for summer skirmishes, fall skirmishes, week 2, like just coming first in so many different events. He's just popped off ever since Fortnite actually came out. I again don't really need to talk about his earnings or anything too much because all of you guys know who this man is. Now, the next player we're going to be talking about is one of the most liked players, recently bald Benji Fishy, who again is one of my favorite players besides Arkham to actually VOD review, and I just learned so much from this man. He is one of the best players in the world, if not the best player, with over $350,000 earned. Unfortunately, him and his duo partner Mongrel, who is my favorite player overall, didn't actually end up making the duo FNCS, but hey, sometimes it happens. You can get griefed in your heat or whatever the case is. No big deal. I definitely see him and Mongrel popping off in the next event. Then coming in at our next person, we have the recent winner of Anaheim DreamHack, Mr. Savage M, with over 200k earned. Recently he has been popping off. He just won another solo cash cup, which is absolutely insane, especially in like I said, one of, if not the hardest regions in the world. So props to him. He's been popping off recently, and that is why he is the top 3 right now. For our next region, we are going to be talking about OCE, which, similar to Middle East and Brazil, is one of the smaller regions, but nevertheless has some really good players. So the first player we're going to be talking about is K Quid, who, if you guys know anything about OCE, you probably know him as one of the best, again, if not the best OCE player. Him and his duo partner Jinx actually did end up winning the grand finals for duos, which is obviously super impressive, and kept coming in second during their heats, which again is super impressive. And he is also ranked number 1 for OCE's power rankings, which again, power rankings obviously don't mean everything, but it's just a good indication of how they've been doing overall, maybe not just for one tournament, but overall obviously doing really well. Now the next player is Worthy, who is number 2 for power rankings, and he actually finished, him and his duo partner Gabos, I again don't know how to pronounce it, came first in their heats and did alright in the grand finals, coming 7th, which obviously is super impressive overall. Maybe they didn't have the best day, they probably could have popped off a little bit better, but hey, it happens. And then for our third spot, well, not third spot, but our third player we're going to be talking about is Mr. Fresh Asian himself, who in my opinion is a huge inspiration because he not only does really good content creations, has a huge YouTube channel, tons of thousands and millions of people watching him every single day or every single month or whatever you want to call it, but he also does really good with his duo partner Rel during all the duo cash cups, duo FNCS events. They did end up making grand finals. They didn't play the best they've ever played, coming in at 29th, but hey, like I said, something's happening. But during the solos, during duos, he pops off. I've seen clips of him, and he's been doing insane recently, which is why I got to add him to this list. So now, finally, a lot of you guys have been waiting for NA East, which is the second, or like I said, depends where you live, if you're in EU or East, the biggest region. But basically, we're going to be talking about 3 players, like I said, right now, in my opinion. And the first player we're going to be talking about is AV, whose recent duo partner Chap and him have been popping off, not only in the grand finals where they finished 4th, but AV has been popping off in souls as well, coming first in a couple cash cups as well as second, and then him and Chap have also been popping off and winning some duo cash cups as well as winning even some ghosts or some weekends as well during the FNCS. So super big props to him. Like, he kind of came up, well, didn't come out of nowhere, but like I personally never heard of him before he started duoing with Chap, but now that I watch his gameplay and now I've watched him play, he is definitely popping off and has been doing really well recently. Like I said, I gotta give him props where props is due, and recently he's been popping off. Now, the next player I'm going to be talking about is my boy Bizzle, who, again, similar to Mitro, has been around since the very start of Fortnite, popping off in almost every single event. A lot of people say he's washed up and hasn't been performing, but he has, in my opinion. He's been doing really well. He did really well in DreamHack Anaheim, coming in second. Been winning the Contender Duo Cash Cup with Cease 1 week. Did really well in the Fortnite FNCS. Overall, like, didn't do absolutely unbelievable, but like I said, some days you have your off weekends, or some days you just don't play your best, or things don't go your way. But overall, I think he's been popping off. And then for the third player that I'm going to be talking about, and that is Scoped. Now, Scoped has been probably one of the most, if not the most consistent player in all of NA East right now. Him and Tfue have been doing really well during all of the FNCS, not only for the heats, but the grand finals and everything else, as well as Scoped has been winning almost every single solo cash cup along, like, not even with Tfue. So that just proves he doesn't even need Tfue, and a lot of people have actually been saying he carried Tfue a little bit in the FNCS. Hey, I'm not saying anything, that's just what I've been hearing, but yeah, that's it for East. Now, coming into Brazil, I'm honestly going to say I haven't watched a ton of gameplay on these players. I've watched a little bit, and recently they have been doing really well, these players, so props to where props is due. So the first player I'm going to be talking about is Pulga. I, again, may not be pronouncing the name correctly, but him and his duo actually did end up winning the grand finals for duo. And looking at his recent placements, he's been doing really well in all of the cash cups, in the old FNCS and in the Winter Royale. So overall, really good player. He's first in the power rankings in Brazil, so gotta give him to it. Doing very well, obviously. Then, in the next player we're going to be talking about is Mojack, which is actually his duo partner, and he's been doing really well as well. Again, nothing too insane I can talk about besides their placements, just because, again, I don't know too much about them, but obviously he won the grand finals alongside his duo partner, and he's been doing very well throughout the cash cups as well, and overall just a good player as well as really good placements. And then the last player I'm going to be talking about is Kurt, who's probably one of the most consistent players in all of Brazil. He's, I think, 3rd or 4th in the power rankings in Brazil, and he has a bunch of 1st place or 2nd place placements in the cash cups. He didn't do too well in the grand finals, which is unfortunate, but like I said multiple times in this video, anything can happen throughout one tournament or one weekend, so you can't really blame him for it. He did end up making it, which is still super impressive, but that's it for Brazil. So for the last region I'm going to be talking about today, which is Asia, which is probably, in my opinion, the smallest region out of all of them. We're going to be giving the top 3 just the power rankings. I've almost seen no gameplay on these people. Like, I've seen a couple of them, but I can't really find any socials or anything like that. So if you guys have them, let me know down in the comments, because I'm very curious to watch some of them, because I've heard really good things about them. But the first player we're going to be talking about is Link, who's obviously a very good player. He's number 3rd on their power rankings, and he's done really well on, like, he came Season 2, Chapter 2, Heat 1 on NA West. Him and his duo finished 48th, which is super impressive. Like, on NA West, when you're all the way in Asia, is really good. Gotta give it to him. The next person we'll be talking about is Kaz, who came 30th in the Middle Eastern Grand Finals, which is, again, super impressive to actually make a Grand Finals even though you're not from that region. Obviously, his ping was probably super high. And then the top player I'm going to be giving it to is Swilliam. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but they've been popping off. They've come top, or him and his duo popped off and came first in almost every cash cup. Did really well in almost every solo cash cup that Asia hosts, as well as the Winter Royale. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you slap a like button on it. Comment what you want to see for a future video. Hit that subscribe button. Use creator code WraithFN in the item shop, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you guys later.